This week on the CoinWeek Podcast, I talked to Harlan Burke numismatist Michael Printz about the importance of professional representation when it comes to building your collection. Hi, Michael. Thanks for joining me on the CoinWeek Podcast.
Hey, Charles. Pleasure to be here.
The reason we wanted to have you on today is to elaborate on a topic that we touched upon briefly at the Fund Show in January, and that is the topic of dealer representation when it comes to buying coins at auction and to building collections. I think many of the people who listen to the CoinWeek Podcast consider themselves to be on the advanced side of the hobby. I know that I consider my knowledge base to be fairly advanced in many areas. As the editor of CoinWeek, I come in contact with many great coins and loads of market data. So to get the ball rolling on this conversation, let me ask you a direct question. Why would somebody in my position benefit from representation from a knowledgeable professional numismatist?
Well, I think anybody can benefit from quality representation. From the most advanced to certainly the person that's just kind of embarking on a collection. The reality is that you may not be able to attend the auction or do in-person lot viewing. Take the Fund Show as an example, which we just had. Let's just say that I know you were there, but let's suppose that you weren't there. And there were lots that you had an interest in the auction. I think you want to establish a relationship with a dealer that has a good eye and that isn't going to put coins into your collection out of auction that you shouldn't own. So hopefully it's somebody that you have a significant enough relationship with where you trust their eye and they know exactly what you're looking for. So in the case of the fund sale, let's just suppose there were, 20 lots that you had me, or that you were interested in, and you were not able to be at the, at lot viewing. I would review those lots for you. Typically I create a spreadsheet for each customer I work with. And then, I put my notes into that spreadsheet. And then that is something I can email to the client, and then at their leisure, they can digest those notes. We can have phone conversations about the coins, and then make an educated decision on whether it makes sense to go after a coin. If it's a coin that I didn't like, and this does happen, not often, but periodically, and somebody is, they're just really out to get that coin, I still provide my feedback. I'll still represent them. Or maybe it's a situation where, we like the coin, but it's already, the current bid level is just simply too high. So that's a good reason why anybody would want, sound auction representation. Trying to buy as high quality as the digital images are today from the auction houses, trust me, when you sit and look at auction lots in person, you begin to understand how relying on the digital photography is just not adequate. And the thing is, you can't return anything you buy if you're sitting clicking away, the night of the auction and you happen to buy something, you get it and it's darker than the image indicates, or there's a hairline that didn't come through in the images, or if it's a gold coin and it's got a problem, it's been puttied or whatever. These are things that you just sometimes can't discern from the images. So I say if you can't be there in person to review the lots, you really need to have auction representation.
I think this is especially true, and I know you work with Harlan Burke, the Chicago coin dealer. You do photography yourself, and you're an expert on U.S. coins. I think very few dealers in our industry consistently produce high-quality photographic images like your company does. Your firm's coin images are almost always beautiful, but even in this case, you're right. there is no parallel to actually considering a coin in hand. I think sometimes this is a fact that goes underappreciated by collectors. If you attend a coin show, you'll usually see exhibitions of coins. Or if you're a member of the EAC, you'll see fellow collectors bring their coins to show off to other fellow collectors. So there's a tremendous value to seeing coins in person. And I think if you really want to be a student of numismatics, that you benefit greatly by having somebody to share this experience with. And I don't know a single dedicated dealer that isn't a coin weenie at heart. So if you're working towards building a collection that excites them, then you're truly working towards something that will excite you and other collectors when you decide to either show it off or sell it down the road.
Agreed. You know, and another side note here, just not to change gears, but you know, if we do have some crossover clients, we have quite a few crossover clients, meaning we have clients here at HJB that collect both U.S. and world and ancient, okay? And so, you know, we're in a unique position because if it's U.S. oriented, I can help the client. If it's ancient oriented, obviously they get directed to Aaron. And if they're interested in world coins, then we have Laura Wakeland, who's our world expert, review lots. We attend we attend all the major shows. The shows that we tend not to do, we don't do Long Beach anymore. It's a major headache. But all the big shows, A&A, Fun, Central States, you know, 2 of the 3 Baltimore shows, we attend. But more often than not, if need be, the auction houses, as long as we know ahead of time, will often ship lots to us for review if that's necessary. So I just wanted to throw that out.
Let's run down a list of things that you're looking for when you're doing a lot review for a client. So let's just say I'm looking for original coins and I'm putting together a collection of Jim or Better Morgan dollars. So I put together my list of 5 or 10 targets that are up at the auction. And let's say in this situation, I can actually be there in person. What are you looking for and what information are you able to communicate to me that I might not see on my own?
Well, actually, that's a great question, and I do have, not as often as I would like, to be honest with you, because it really can be educational, not just for the collector, but it can also be educational for me as a dealer, because when I'm talking about when a client has the ability to sit with me at auction viewing, at lot viewing, at least obviously for the lots that they're interested in, because not only can I share with them the knowledge that I have and why I do or don't like a particular lot, but they can indicate to me why they happen to like this lot that maybe I don't like, or they happen to dislike a lot that I do like. You know, that doesn't happen often, usually because there's a quality understanding between myself and the customer as to what they're looking for. But you know, in the case that you just brought up, I mean, we would look at, let's just say there's, you know, 6 lots that you're interested in, or 10 lots, whatever it is, and you actually have the ability to be with me, and view those lots. I would look at each coin and I would explain, I'd then hand the coin to you, have you look at it, and I would tell you exactly why I do or don't like the coin. Maybe it is fully original. Maybe it's graded 65 and I think the coin's a 4, okay? Or maybe I think the coin's great, but it's dipped. So in this case, it doesn't fit the profile of what you're looking for. There's definitely a benefit to looking at lots together. Doesn't happen very often, but there clearly is a benefit.
So when you're going to do a lot viewing, I'm sure you're not going in blind and intending to look at everything. I'm sure you go with a target list and you have lots that you need to review for other clients and maybe some for the business. How often do you sit down and look at coins that have initially interested you and then think, this coin is not for me? Even with the way the hobby has evolved over the years, I think with third-party certification, CAC, images online, I'd imagine that you often find yourself surprised by what you see in person versus what you were expecting to see before you sat down at the lot viewing.
Listen, it really depends on the auction, you know, the caliber of material that's offered for sale. we work with one client in particular who we do a tremendous amount of auction representation for. And there have been times when I've had 75, 100 lots, 150 lots to look at for him. And, when it's all said and done, there may be 10% of those lots or less that I like enough for him to consider, moving past okay, now I like it, or I've got the okay, now I got to figure out what I want to pay. Okay. There at the recent fund sale, I probably looked at about 75 lots for various clients. One client, there were 5 lots he had an interest in. I didn't like any of the coins. For the grade, didn't like any of the coins. For another client, I probably liked about 30% or maybe 35% of what he had me look at, and we were successful in probably 20% of that. I will say that auctions are oftentimes full of stuff, and so you just got to work through the stuff to find the coins that really make sense and are truly graded correctly, have great eye appeal, all the criteria that I would want and that I know that my client wants.
I often hear, it's probably a mantra by this point for some people, but I've heard it said so many times, that the truly great coins are worth stretching for. Now, this implies, of course, that everybody recognizes the truly great coins and they are priced accordingly. But do you think in this era of phone book size auction catalogs that truly great coins still go unnoticed by many, and that if you just actually do the legwork, that you can find these coins and pick them at attractive prices?
There are opportunities. You have to understand that, and there are dealers that make this part of their business model. Well, they will go, maybe they go out a week early. They, go to Heritage, go to Stax or wherever, and they'll spend, 2 days looking through every lot in the catalog. Okay. I don't have that's not part of our business model. We really don't buy a great number of coins for inventory out of auction. With that said, there are things that slip through the cracks, but the really nice coins, the really, really nice coins, and that doesn't mean great. It could be an outstanding bust half in AU or a small size bust quarter or a large size bust quarter in, MS63, okay? But if the coin is just a home run, it's probably not going to fall through the cracks, and there's going to be stretching, and it just comes down to who's going to stretch the most.
Also, I'd imagine pattern recognition, which is something I also think is undervalued. Collectors need to keep this in mind if you're going to build a collection of any series. A professional dealer, especially one that reviews many coins at auction, will have seen many, many examples of coins in various types, and to be able to recognize quality, comparative quality. Whereas somebody who's maybe only seen or held a few gem bust half dollars, for instance, may not have fully developed that skill. And coins are expensive enough now, especially mint state coins, that you aren't going to be able to go to your local coin shop and see a selection of coins in each type and each date and various grades for you to take the time to study them to see how they come. So now you truly are buying coins one at a time, where the opportunity to see them in person is less so than it might have been 30 or 40 years ago. So understanding this, I think having somebody help you buy your coins is fundamental to getting the best results.
Absolutely. And an adage that maybe it's not an adage, but a saying that I've used for, probably the last 25 years, and I've been in the business for 30 years this year. What I tell my customers is auction representation is not designed to add coins to your collection. It's there to keep you from making mistakes. Okay. And, if you think about, and I can't speak for other dealers, I can only speak for myself. But, let's put it this way. The customers that I have worked with over the years have saved exponentially more money by not buying coins that they may have otherwise purchased than I've ever made in auction representation. Okay. And if you think about that, that's really kind of profound, right? Nobody wants to put coins they don't like. And I can't tell you how many times, somebody will sit down at a table and ask my opinion of a coin, talking about a collector, ask my opinion of a coin. And I'll say, it's not a great coin. Where'd you get it? Well, I bought it out of auction. Did you have somebody look at it before you bought it? No, I just, I looked at the pictures and, it was graded this way, looked good. That stinks. That's money that they don't have. It's a coin that they don't like. And, if it's a fairly recent purchase, it's not like they're going to be able to go out and, unless they ripped it, it's not like they're going to be able to go out and sell the coin, and get their money back. So, it really is important, I think, if you are active in auctions, that you have a quality, reputable dealer that's representing you. That 5%, and this varies depending on the what the value of the coin is, but generally speaking, that 5% that you will pay the dealer, that's only paid if he's successful. I've sat in an auction for hours representing a client, and I can think Central States a few years ago, and I didn't buy. Maybe I bought 2 lots over the course of 3 hours. Well, that's time I'm not getting paid for, right? I'm only paid if I'm successful. In this particular case, even though he was a strong bidder, there was somebody else that was much stronger, and so I wasn't getting anything.
Let's tell the story of 2 different collections and what happens next based on your experience. One collection is Indian 10s. I bought them off of eBay. They are target of opportunity coins. These are mostly online purchases that I bought blind or by looking at pictures. Some are CAC'd, but they are all 64s and 65s. The second set is a set in the same grade that you or another professional helped me build. Same dates, everything. Same grade, same dates. Where am I at on a cost basis for each set, and how will I fare when it's time to sell?
Well, the cost basis is, if you just said that, in your opinion, you bought, most of them on eBay, and you felt like you got, you bought them exceptionally cheap. Okay. So your cost basis in that collection is probably going to be less than your cost basis in the pieces that let's say I have helped put into the collection over a period of time. Okay. On the other hand, if the pieces that you bought real cheap off of eBay end up being marginal for the grade, then the limited cost you have in those coins, it will come back to haunt you in terms of what you get for the coins when they sell. Okay. My experience has always been if you buy really nice coins for the grade, whatever that grade happens to be, do your best not to overpay, and that's a whole nother conversation, okay, about what to pay. But assuming that the coins that the collection I helped you put together, we've been conscious about price. We don't overpay unless the coin is absolutely outstanding and there's a need to, okay? The 16S10 and 4, and it happens to have a CAC sticker, and it's just absolutely phenomenal, okay? Maybe there's a reason to overpay for that coin, okay? And even then, what does overpay mean? But I will tell you that in general, those coins are going to achieve higher, stronger prices just by nature of the fact that the quality will exceed the other collection that you mentioned. There really is no substitute for quality. You can go out and buy, overgraded MS64 10 Indians, and do so pretty easily, actually, because there's a lot of them. All right. But that it's you're not going to buy that stuff cheap if it's nasty, and then expect to get reasonable prices for it when you sell it.
I think the key thing people have to realize, and I've seen this firsthand, if you bring 2 boxes to a coin dealer and one box is potluck and the other is a carefully assembled collection, there is a dramatic difference in the level of enthusiasm for your coins you're likely to see from a dealer. And this will impact the level of interest they have in your coins.
Right. No doubt. We have, I've been with HJB now for 10 years. I was with Larry Whitlow for 24 years, 25 years. But anyway, in the 10 years that I've been here at HJB, we've done a number of personal collections or catalogs where we've sold collections for clients. We've done extremely well, especially with the collections that were put together over time, no rush, with a truly discerning eye for quality and eye appeal, quality and eye appeal. You know, eye appeal it really is everything. It really is everything. And, you know, you could have a rare seated quarter that's original, maybe even has a sticker, but it's too original. It's very unattractive. That coin isn't going to sell really easily unless you find somebody that has to have it for a registry. Okay. And that same concept that's portable across the entire spectrum of coin collecting. You know, whether you're buying from a dealer, whether you're buying out of auction, it's imperative.
Michael, thanks for taking the time to talk. I think this has been a very interesting and lively discussion, and I hope this gives our listeners some insights on things that they can do to improve their approach to collecting and to build the best collections they can and get the most out of the hobby. I'm sure I'll see you at the next Baltimore show, and if you have a cool coin on you, I'd love to film it.
Great. Well, thanks. Good to talk to you, too, and we will be in Baltimore for sure.
All right. Take care. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends. Remember, you can go to our entire archives by going to our YouTube channel, CoinWeek, or downloading them individually at the iTunes Store. For CoinWeek, I'm editor Charles Morgan. Until next time, happy collecting.